I want to go over a report that you can create and amplify, and I'm going to create one and send it out for everybody. So I'm in Amplify, and this is the correlation report, but I want to show you how to read this report and why it's such a great report. And what I did was I just went through and captured data from different campuses just so that we could go through the explanation. On this report, what it does is it shows you the students from beginning of the year that also took a middle of the year. This happens to be the reading data. So let's go through. And this says that in kindergarten that we had 37 students that scored well below benchmark. Of those 37 students that scored well below benchmark, 92% of them stayed at well below benchmark. 5% of them grew to below benchmark, and 3% of them grew to at benchmark. So we had some growth within kindergarten for those students that were well below. We had approximately 4 students that changed categories. Here in the below benchmark, on the beginning of the year, we had 19 students. Of those 19 students, 16% fell backwards, 47% stayed below, 26% went up to at, and 11% jumped 2 categories and went to above. Okay, so we had student growth in those students that were at below benchmark. Here, these students on the BOY were at benchmark. This is kind of disheartening because those students that were at benchmark, we had 53% fall at least one category. Okay, we had 47% that stayed at benchmark, and none of them jumped to the at benchmark. Here, 29 students took the beginning of the year and the middle of the year. When they took the beginning of the year, they were at the level above benchmark. For the middle of the year, here they are. We have 45% of the students that stayed above benchmark, and the rest of them, 55%, fell at least one category. We had 45% that fell to at, and we have 10%, which is 3 students, fall to below benchmark. Okay, and you can go through each grade level to be able to look at this data. And we see that our above benchmark kids, the tendency is to fall, have at least some of the students fall. For our at benchmark, we had students fall. For our below benchmark, we had students jump. And for our well below, we had a few students that came up. So I want to look at the district summary. This is all test for all students that were here for beginning and middle. So we had all grade levels. We had 849 students that were at below for the beginning of the year MCLASS reading. Okay, out of those 849, we had 10% that moved up to below, and we had 3% that moved up to at. We had 452 students that were below. 38% of those moved to well below. 20% of them moved to at. And it looks like, sorry about that, when I captured that, I had that on there. It looks like 27%, looks like 2% moved to above. Okay. We had 589 students for the beginning of the year that were at benchmark. Of those 589 students, we had 9% move to well below. We had 23% fall to below, and we had 11% move to above. We had 647 students that were above on the beginning of the year. Out of that 647 students, we maintained 61% of the students at the above benchmark. We lost 39% of our students from this benchmark measure to others. We had 34% of them fall one benchmark measure. We had 4% of them fall two benchmark measures. And we had 1%, which is 6 or 7 students, that fell all the way down to well below. This brings to mind for me the lead forward pulling the string from the top, that we lost some of our students. We lost close to half of our, well, 40% of our students from the above benchmark. Okay. We lost 32% of our students at benchmark. So this is one of those things where we have to keep in mind that lead forward, pulling the string from the top to making sure that our students don't go backwards. So I'll create this report and send it to you with all of your campus data, and hopefully this video will make it a little bit easier to understand what this is telling you.